Hi, I'm Simon Rushton, and this is Taxi Chronicles podcast. On this podcast, we spontaneously interview unsuspecting passengers with their permission, allowing them to share their intimate life stories and concerns. As our slogan states, real riders, real stories. Some riders prefer to be anonymous, while others ask me to tell their story later on. Either way, there are all genuine 5 to 10 minutes stories, so sit back and enjoy this episode. Morning. Yes, we're back. Another episode, another rider, another story. Today we've got, this evening we've got Alex. He's,
Hello.
Hi. He's studying music, and he's not just studying music, he's studying guitar. So he's explaining to me after I spoke to him about how did your father feel you about doing a degree, which, keep in mind, the degrees cost like 27,000, just studying a guitar. And he explained his father was very understanding and things like that. So what we're going to talk about now is, following on with the conversation, I had to update you so Alex doesn't have to repeat everything again. Is we're happy to have you here today, Alex.
Oh, thank you.
That's great. Why the guitar out of all the other instruments? How do you plan to make money on this guitar? And what motivates you?
Oh, right. Okay, yeah, that's some pretty serious questions. So the first one, what was it again?
Why the guitar?
Well,
Out of all the instruments you could have picked, why the guitar?
Well, I actually played drums as well. I started playing drums when I was like about 8 years old, when I was at boarding school.
Okay.
And there was this really cool guy, this cool music teacher, this guy called Gordy. And I saw all my mates starting to pick up instruments. I was like, I'm not missing out on this opportunity. I got quite a musical family. My brother used to play bass and piano. Mum used to play guitar. Dad used to play trumpet. And I was like, I'm definitely not missing out on this. And I first really had a spark for music. I was at this live show called Stomp. And it was a purely rhythm-based show.
Oh yeah, I know, where they're dancing, they're always stomping their feet.
One.
Yeah.
And I was sitting down watching that, and I was just going crazy. I was like 8 years old, little kid, just losing my mind over this. And I bought a pair of drumsticks at the end of the show. My mum to buy me a pair of drumsticks because I was just jamming along for the whole set. I was like, I need to do this. And for a whole month, I was just walking around, just banging on anything I could with the sticks. And then eventually, I decided I've got to get music lessons at the school. So I started playing drums. Played drums for 8 years, and then. At some point when I was probably about 15, I decided to pick up the guitar as well. And after a while, the more I played guitar, the more I kind of got more bored of drums. I wanted to start playing lead stuff. And I just got really inspired. I found I was focusing a lot more on specific guitarists themselves than I would on specific drummers, and I just got way more engaged in the guitar community. And I was kind of slacking on my A levels. I was not doing the work I needed to do. I was not focused. I was like, well, what am I really going to pursue here? Am I going to go try and work off this job for the rest of my life that I'm going to fail at miserably and not be remotely focused on? Try and pursue something that will be a lot harder to do monetarily, but will make me more fulfilled individually. So yeah, that's why I decided to follow that.
Okay. So what motivates you? Because how long have you been playing the guitar for?
Well, I started when I was 15, but I gave it up for a bit and then picked it back up when I was 16. I'd say properly about three and a half years.
Yes,
so quite late actually compared to a lot of people.
You must really love that instrument.
I mean, the sounds are fucking amazing. I love every genre. There's nothing the guitar can do that I don't.
Do you? So you spoke about genre. When you're playing guitar, so do you? I don't suppose I can. I'm not sure what music has a guitar and what doesn't. Is there a type? Do you play for all genres of music?
I mean, I wouldn't say I'd be able to play all because some of those genres are fucking difficult. I'm not at that level yet. Jazz guitar, there's some difficult stuff. Weird time signatures, bizarre scales, constantly changing key. I can't keep up. I've got to spend a long amount of time trying to focus on that to be able to pick up that score. Mostly, I'm just playing a lot of blues, like late 60s psychedelic rocks, a lot of Hendrix, a lot of Clapton, A lot of the really old blues guys, B.B. King, Freddie King, Albert King. And then a lot of Zeppelin, all the classic rock stuff. I play a bit of neo soul as well, trying to get into R&B.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I've interviewed a lot of artists and producers who are in R&B or grime.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how the grime thing would work for you, but
You'd
if they do need any, you can always check them out and you tell them what you do and who you are. Most of them have a link. I put their link or tag on their episodes.
I'm good on the tag.
Yeah.
I don't need a tag. Don't worry.
Okay.
I'm chilling.
Oh, that's good. So, you've been on this degree how long?
Oh, I just started this year.
Oh, so how's that been with the lockdown?
Oh, honestly, a bit rough to be honest. I mean, because guitar and music in general is such an interactive thing.
Yeah, it's all hands-on, isn't it?
You got to be like in the community, working with people all the time, trying to collaborate, and that's just made it like 1,000 times harder because of lockdown. The classes over Zoom. If you ever tried to do a music class over Zoom, it's just not the same. Especially for drummers. Like, if you tried to play drums through like a standard audio microphone on your laptop, and you're trying to like jam with someone playing drums over like Zoom, that's not happening. It just sounds terrible. So it's definitely not the same, but I'm still appreciative to like be doing it anyway. Like, I don't feel like I'm missing out completely.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I suppose when you play your instrument, is there any substitute to guitars?
What do you mean?
Like, if you're making, like a keyboard could make loads of different beats and loads of things.
Sound.
Yeah.
Well, you can kind of emulate the sound of a guitar on a keyboard using I don't really know what it's called, but there's like this disc you can get on the side of some keyboards, and if you slide it, it like shifts the pitch, shifts the tone the same way it would shift on a guitar. And you can kind of emulate it, but it never sounds quite the same.
So it's not like 100%. Someone couldn't tell the difference.
Yeah, if you want like the authentic sound, you got to go with the original instrument, I think.
Okay, so it's not something that will threaten your career.
Oh no, I don't think so. I feel like also you express yourself differently on different instruments. So because of the way a guitar is laid out, you have 6 strings all tuned to different pitches, all with different thicknesses and tones. Whereas on a keyboard, it's just all the notes laid out in a straight line.
Okay.
It affects the way you you try and play the instrument, because certain combinations of notes or certain phrasings of notes will seem more clear to you on a keyboard than they will on a guitar. And some things just don't sound good. Some things that would sound really good on a keyboard just wouldn't sound good on a guitar, for example, because of the tone.
I understand. Okay.
So yeah, it affects it a lot.
So, what's the? Would you encourage other people to get into your industry, that what you're doing?
I say yeah, if they're passionate about it, 100%. I mean, you're not going to be fulfilled doing something you don't want to do. I mean, money is not really. I think a lot of people think that just chasing money because of the way it's like seen in the media will just fulfill them and make them happy and give them everything they want. But I really, really don't think that's true. I don't think that's the case at all. I think if you're not fulfilled in the work you're doing, the work you do takes up the majority of your time. If you're not fulfilled doing it, then what you live for.
Yeah, I understand that.
Obviously, I'm not saying it's that easy though. A lot of people don't have the option. They have to look after people, provide for people. It's obviously not that simple. But I mean, if you ever get the opportunity, I'd definitely take it.
What would you say? I know you've been here for 3 years now, playing the guitar. What have you learnt in that 3 years that you wish you knew when you had started?
I think I'm still young to comment on that, to be honest.
Okay, fair enough. And my last but not least question is, what's the impact you want to have on the world?
I don't think it has to be something dramatic. I don't have to, release some crazy work or try and change the world or anything. I mean, I'm not going to have that impact. I know that. I'm not some revolutionary with some crazy new ideology or some message to put through my music. If it's just I release something that makes someone smile, or I play a sick solo, or I meet some cool people, just entertain anyone. It's all that you really need to do. Just put a smile on someone's face. So good.
So what you're really saying is everybody you come into contact with, you want to have a positive.
Yeah, I don't want to have any I will, 100%. I mean, no one's perfect. Like, everyone makes mistakes. And I continue to make many more probably. But I'll try not to. I'll try and have a positive impact.
And then how do you see the future for yourself? Obviously we've got the COVID, but if you put the COVID aside, how do you see your future for yourself and what you're going to be doing?
I can't give any black and white answer on that either. I have no idea. Life is, it's all bloody possibilities right now. I have absolutely no idea what the future is going. I'm
just trying to stay in the game.
Yeah, just trying to ride the wave.
Yeah, just a squirrel trying to get a nut. Yeah. I hear you. Well, thanks for that interview.
Oh, thanks, man.
It was much. Do you do any other sports, by the way?
Oh, sadly, I'm not a very sporty person. I do paraglide, actually. That's one thing I do.
So tell us about that.
Paragliding is. Do you know what it is?
When you jump off on a cliff with the big wings and a bar.
Oh no, that's hang gliding. So that's like the triangle one. Paragliding is like the canopy kites, the ones that go over you, and you're like sitting in a chair, and you like steer with your arms like this.
Yeah, isn't that what I'm saying? So you're lying down, and it's a triangle.
No, you're sitting in a chair like this.
Oh, okay.
So you're just sitting in a chair like you would like in school or wherever.
Yeah.
And then you just have your hands up here, and they're controlling these things. It's a canopy that wraps over like this.
Oh, okay.
It's like kind of like a stretched oval kind of shape.
And how did you get into that?
Oh well, I did a tandem a few years ago in Oman.
Okay.
With my dad, and I was just like, this is like the best feeling ever. This is so cool.
How high do you go?
You can go. It massively varies. You can do quite low flights in England. Like there's no large mountains. It's only hills, so you can only really go from a couple hundred meters up. Whereas where I was practicing in Switzerland, I was on like ski mountains. So like I was probably like doing like 1,000-meter descents in like 15 minutes.
Okay.
And then like if you do it hardcore. Some people you can like thermal, which is when you catch like a hot pocket of air traveling up.
Yeah, so
if you get in that, you can ride those like all day. You can stay in the air all day if you keep thermaling properly. You don't even need to land.
So how do you know how to thermal?
Oh, I don't. Yeah, I'm not quite at that level. But if you were to like try to, there's like specific conditions in the ground that kind of give it away. You study like the meteorology and the weather before you go flying, and it gives away like certain areas.
Like a condor bird.
Yeah, kind of. Also, if you see birds circling in the air, you know there's a thermal there because the birds are right in the thermal as well. So you can fly over to where you see the birds circling and then find the thermal.
So watch nature.
Huh?
So watch nature.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, you need to pay a lot of attention. You need to be like very focused when you're paragliding because things can change really quickly. Like conditions, you can learn a lot from just like studying this around.
Yeah, have you had any near misses of like, I thought I was gonna have gone there?
Oh, no, not yet. I haven't been doing it for long enough. I've heard some pretty crazy stories from some of our instructors though. One of my instructors, I think he was called Andre, he's a Spanish guy, and he told me a story of when he crashed into a tree.
Okay.
Paragliding, which could be some fucking gnarly, dangerous shit.
Yeah. But he's still here to live the tale.
Yeah, he's a crazy guy. He's a madman.
Okay. Well, we've come to our end of our journey now, so thanks a lot for your interview, and we wish you well on your way to becoming the guitarist with the impact on the world.
Oh, thank you.
We hope you liked that episode. Keeping in mind, we never know who we're going to interview. We post twice a day, 8 a.m. and 5 p.m. GMT. Have you ever considered the future economies to invest in? Why not listen to our sister podcast, Africa Investor Stories? Considering Africa has the fastest growing economies and population on Earth and has done for many years, it holds 30% of the world's known natural resources. We publish twice a week, Tuesday with a guest investor and Fridays talking about investment, politics and history, providing a clear understanding for any potential investor.